Most horrific natural disasters caught on camera, from a massive avalanche in Nepal that raced down the Himalayan mountainside and a monster rock slide in India that blocked a holy road, to a double tornado in Nebraska that got a little too close for comfort, and a volcano in Indonesia that sent ash over 16,000 feet into the air. Here are 10 incredible natural disasters caught on camera. Number 10. The Journey to the Badrinath Temple. The journey to the Badrinath Temple in Uttarakhand, India, is a famous Hindu pilgrimage. It sits in the Himalayan town of Badrinath and is only open between April and November due to extreme weather conditions. Rain and snowfall can make the pilgrimage unsafe. Even the gods understand that much. But the gods were angry on May 4th, 2023, when intense rain and snow eroded part of a mountain. Unfortunately, this mountain was right next to Badrinath National Highway, the only road between the temple and the nearby town. Pilgrims and workers watched in horror as the road was blocked by a massive rock slide. Luckily, they recognized the signs hours before and closed the road. Then they moved some heavy equipment into position, knowing they had to clear the debris ASAP. But landslides like this are highly unpredictable. There's no telling how much debris will ultimately fall. Rain and snow continued to pelt the area. The temple stopped registering people for new pilgrimages, but there was nothing they could do about those already en route. They advised everyone to make necessary arrangements and avoid dangerous conditions. Luckily, they cleared the debris and reopened the highway 24 hours after the landslide. Number 9. Perito Moreno Glacier. Perito Moreno is a famous glacier in the Los Glaciares National Park in Santa Cruz, Argentina. Every year, enthusiasts flock to the Patagonia region to watch pieces of Perito Moreno collapse into the frigid water. On February 25, 2022, a tour group ventured into the lakes near Perito Moreno. They got their money's worth when a glacial calving triggered an impressive chain reaction. These tourists got a triple whammy. They saw a calving, a tsunami, and a glacial shooter all in one trip. But what is a glacial shooter and what causes them? As we know, glaciers extend well below the water's surface. When they calve, those invisible parts underwater can break free and rise to the surface. Number 8. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa floods. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, also known as KPK, is the fourth largest province in Pakistan. In January of 2023, monsoon rains swept across the region, triggering landslides and flash floods in the Chitral district located in northern KPK. Locals watched as raging rapids tore through the backcountry. It began with landslides and things got progressively worse from there. Look at all the dust and debris that gets kicked up as the mountain slides into the river. Elsewhere, locals recorded a different part of the flood as it raced through a valley. You can see where the river had dried up before the monsoon. It's amazing to think that events like this likely carved all those snaking waterways. Soon, the flood turns into a slower-moving mudslide. Watch how it comes in waves. The first passes, then settles. Then another mud wave comes barreling down the valley. Downstream, you can see where erosion is eating away at part of the cliff. Number 7. Twin tornadoes. Every year, about 1,200 tornadoes touch down across the United States. Most of them occur in Tornado Alley, which spans the Great Plains region, including states like Kansas, Oklahoma, and Nebraska, where tornadoes are often the worst. Between June 16th and 18th of 2014, a wild tornado outbreak saw 76 storms touch down across the Great Plains. Around 4:00 p.m. on June 16th, twin EF4 tornadoes tore a path of destruction between the towns of Wisner and Pilger, Nebraska. One local was lucky enough to capture both of them on camera. According to the National Weather Service, one storm touched down about 15 minutes after the other. They tracked together for another 15 minutes and traveled a combined 30 miles. One of them moved closer to our cameraman, who stood their ground and kept recording. Officials said that 34% of Pilger had been destroyed or partially damaged. Now, double tornadoes aren't all that rare. What made this a phenomenon is that both tornadoes were equally strong. According to experts, if two storms happen simultaneously, one is usually much stronger than the other. In this case, both tornadoes maintain EF4 intensity. Number 6. Himalayan avalanche. Nepal attracts tourists from all over the world. Most of them come to explore the Himalayan mountains. They span the entire length of Nepal. That means no matter where you are in the country, you can always see the Himalayan mountains. That also means avalanches can strike at any time. One group of hikers got to experience a Himalayan avalanche firsthand while hiking near the town of Manang. Luckily, they were far enough away to appreciate the sight without being in any danger. It might look like a giant cloud, but that's a massive wall of snow rolling over the mountain. From a distance, it looks like it's moving at a snail's pace, but think of how far it's traveled in just 60 seconds. The avalanche eventually crests over a hill, leading to this fantastic display. Luckily, Nobody got hurt during the avalanche and it didn't damage anything important. Number 5. Cedar Rapids, derecho. Home to about 130,000 people, Cedar Rapids, Iowa is the second largest city in the state. It sits on 75 square miles of land about 2 hours west of Des Moines. Locals call it the City of Five Seasons. The nickname is a play on a Bible verse suggesting that the fifth season is the time spent enjoying the other four. Well, nobody was enjoying the summer on August 10, 2020. Every single person in Cedar Rapids was caught off guard when a wild derecho storm tore through the city. Hurricane-force winds kept one local woman in place while she recorded the storm from her car. According to reports, wind speeds topped 140 miles per hour, about as strong as a Category 4 hurricane. The storm touched all 75 square miles of the city in some way. In the end, it caused about $7.5 billion in damages between South Dakota and Ohio, making it one of the costliest thunderstorms in U.S. history. More than 100,000 trees were destroyed in the storm, including some that had stood for decades. Every traffic signal in the city was damaged and homes and businesses went without power for a week. Number 4. Kampar River, Bono. The Kampar River flows about 257 miles across the Indonesian island of Sumatra. It rises in the Barisan Mountains of West Sumatra and flows east toward the Malacca Strait. Over the years, it's become a popular destination for river surfers. That's because the Kampar River is famous for its tidal bores, known locally as Bono or Troop. Naturally, the river widens as it approaches the Malacca Strait. Tidal bores occur during high tide when seawater rushes toward the narrow part of the river. Some locals fear the waves and others like to play in them like children. As all that seawater needs somewhere to go, as the river narrows, the children enjoy splashing through the massive puddles, while their parents try not to get their feet wet. The spectacle attracts a large crowd every rainy season. It also attracts river surfers who experience a once-per-year opportunity. Number 3. Big Spring, Habu. Big Spring, Texas is a small city in west-central Texas between Fresno and Bakersfield. It's home to about 12,000 people and a lucky pair that caught something extremely rare on dashcam. It was a stormy night in Big Spring on December 11, 2022. Miguel and his friend had their dashcam rolling as they drove through town. What happened next merely scared them out of their seats. If you blinked, you missed it. Thankfully, we have the power of slow motion. Watch how the lightning hits the tree and snaps it in half. According to reports, it was a 50-year-old redwood standing in one homeowner's backyard. They recalled feeling an explosion followed by pelting on the roof. When they got up the next morning, their yard was covered in massive redwood splinters. Number 2. Mount Sinabung eruption. Mount Sinabung is a stratovolcano on the Khyber Plateau in North Sumatra, Indonesia. Mount Sinabung had been relatively dormant for about 1,200 years, so people began building villages nearby. What could go wrong? Since 2010, Sinabung has erupted multiple times, forcing the Indonesian government to evacuate thousands of people from the region. On March 2, 2021, the volcano erupted dramatically, sending ash over 16,000 feet into the air. Footage from closer to the eruption site puts the whole thing in perspective. Imagine walking outside and seeing this in your backyard. Now, there's been some debate over how long Sinabung has been dormant. Number 1. Flash flood in Sichuan Province, China. Rain in China is no joke. Southeastern and coastal China will see upwards of 80 in fall in a year. The Yangtze Valley gets between 40 and 45, and while the River Valley to the north sees about 35 heavy rainstorms will quickly overflow rivers and drainage systems, they can lead to freak flash floods like this one in Sichuan Province. On May 28 of 2023, locals in Shannon County kept their cameras rolling as raging rapids invaded their city. The water carried people's cars downstream and was strong enough to rip a steel bridge in half. Oh, thankfully, nobody got hurt. When the flood moved through, everyone in China knows to seek higher ground when the rain starts falling. According to local weather reports, the area saw 12 hours of intense regional rainstorms. The sky opened up around 8:00 p.m. on the 27th and didn't close until 8:00 a.m. on the 28th. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.